Down and Out in Beverly Hills has all of the hallmarks of a film that I kind of figured I would enjoy. Really interesting premise, great location, really beautiful scenery, great cast, and a beautiful dog as well. That's not irrelevant. That's actually quite important to some of the characters. But having watched it, I kind of feel like it was mediocre. It's got 6.2 out of 10 average rating on IMDb, which is pretty reasonable. I feel like I would have given it a 5.5. It just wasn't as good as I expected. But I think if you're in the right mood and the right frame of mind, and this is the kind of film you want to watch, certainly it ticks all of the right boxes in terms of editing, acting, narrative development. It just wasn't very funny, and it is supposed to be a comedy. It was released in 1986, directed by Paul Mazursky, written by Mazursky and Leon Capetanos. Apparently based on a play written in, I believe, French. I'm not going to even try and pronounce the name. But if you have read the play or are aware of it, feel free to let me know how it compares. The description from IMDb is as follows. A rich but troubled family find their lives altered by the arrival of a vagrant who tries to drown himself in their swimming pool. Sounds dark. It's not. But I will say the first kind of 10 minutes are quite upsetting. I have an awful relationship with homeless people, by which I mean if there's a homeless person in a film, I will cry. It's as simple as that. So for me, the first kind of 10-15 minutes, when this, as you will, vagrant, played by Nick Nolte, is looking for his dog, who he has lost, and then of course he just wants to take his own life. It's emotional and it's challenging to watch in that respect. But then once the family kind of rescue him and start to help him out and kind of, tidy him up a bit, if you like, and his dog, of course, the dog is there, it becomes a lot easier to watch. But I still never found it very funny. I really didn't like Barbara. She's played by Bette Midler, and of course the performance itself was really good, but the character just really irritated me. Now, she is a bit full of herself and very materialistic, and that's she's not meant to be that likable, but there was just something about her that really irritated me. But the rest of the family I thought were alright. Richard Dreyfuss plays Dave Whiteman, and for the most part it was a reasonable watch. It was interesting to see Jerry's character development, and certainly the way in which his life contrasted with the family's, and also the dysfunctional aspects of the family lifestyle coming out of the woodwork. So there was a lot going on and a lot to take in a good way. It wasn't overwhelmed, but it was well developed. But I just never really found that the tone sat comfortably, because it wasn't funny. It wasn't too dramatic or depressing apart from that beginning bit. It wasn't very bright and colourful, but it wasn't dark and dusty. It just kind of sat in the middle, and I didn't really know what my emotions were trying to do with it. So for me, I think that's why it didn't deliver as much as I had perhaps hoped for it. But it's still a decent film. As I said, the technical aspects, the development of the narrative, the characters, for the most part, all, pretty decent. If it sounds like a film you'll enjoy, give it a go. I hope you like it more than I did. It's on Disney Plus, and although it's not a film I'll ever watch again, I wouldn't say I regretted the time spent watching it. I may not have loved it, but Down and Out in Beverly Hills is certainly not a bad film.